Ladies and gentlemen, there is a profound truth that transcends human understanding, a principle that echoes through the pages of time and resonates deeply within our spirits: the sovereignty of the divine. This truth calls us to relinquish the burdens we cling to so tightly and place them in the hands of the one who holds the universe. Too often, we find ourselves wrestling with the complexities of life. We strategize, plan, and toil, believing that the outcome depends solely on our strength and wisdom. But consider this: the one who formed the stars and called them by name also knows the intricacies of your heart. He sees the paths you cannot see and knows the answers to questions you have yet to ask. When we attempt to control everything, we limit ourselves to the narrow confines of human ability. We rely on fragile understanding and finite resources. But when we choose to release our cares, our anxieties, and even our ambitions into the hands of the divine, we tap into a power far greater than our own. This act of surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the recognition that while we see but a fragment, the Creator sees the whole picture. Imagine the seed buried in the soil. It does not struggle to grow, it simply rests in the process it was designed for. The soil nurtures it, the rain sustains it, and the sun draws it upward. In the same way, when we place our lives in the hands of the divine, we align ourselves with a purpose far greater than we can fathom. We become like that seed, trusting in the process, growing in unseen ways, and blossoming in due time. Let us also remember that the hands we trust are not idle hands. They are the same hands that shaped the mountains, calmed the storms, and brought forth life itself. These are hands of precision, intention, and boundless love. To leave everything in these hands is not to abandon effort, but to embrace trust. It is to say, I will do what I can, and I will trust the one who can do all. And so, in the moments of uncertainty, in the seasons of waiting, and even in the face of impossible odds, remember the power of surrender. Remember the strength of resting not in your own abilities, but in the hands that have never failed. Divine sovereignty, the speech emphasizes the overarching power and sovereignty of the divine, who governs all aspects of the universe and individual lives. Human limitations, it acknowledges the limitations of human understanding, wisdom, and effort, which cannot compare to the infinite knowledge and power of the divine. Release of burdens, the act of leaving everything in the hands of the divine, is presented as an act of trust and wisdom, freeing oneself from the anxiety of control. Alignment with purpose, trusting the divine aligns individuals with a purpose greater than they can comprehend, leading to growth and fulfillment. Illustration of the seed, the metaphor of a seed growing effortlessly under the right conditions, highlights the benefits of trusting a natural, divine process. Empowerment through surrender. Surrender is framed not as a sign of weakness, but as a wise and empowering choice to rely on a higher power. Active divine hands. The divine is described as intentional and active, capable of shaping outcomes with precision, care, and love. Effort and trust. The balance between human effort and divine trust is emphasized, suggesting that one should do their best and trust the rest to the divine. Peace. In uncertainty, the speech offers comfort and guidance for times of uncertainty, encouraging reliance on the unseen but reliable hand of the divine. Timeless perspective, it conveys a message that transcends immediate circumstances, focusing on the eternal wisdom and unfailing nature of divine guidance. The concept of divine sovereignty is a foundational truth that governs all creation. Sovereignty is the absolute, uncontested authority of the divine over everything that exists. It is the declaration that nothing in the universe operates outside the knowledge, permission, or control of the Creator. This is not a limited or conditional authority, but an eternal and unchanging reality. When we speak of sovereignty, we are acknowledging that the divine has a blueprint for creation and original intent that governs its function and destiny. This sovereignty is not arbitrary, it is purposeful. Every element of creation, from the vast galaxies to the smallest atom, operates within the parameters of a divine order. Nothing occurs by accident, and nothing escapes the notice of the one who set it all in motion. This truth extends to every aspect of life. The rise and fall of nations, the turning of the seasons, and the intricate details of our daily lives are all within the scope of divine oversight. Sovereignty assures us that the Creator is never surprised, never outmaneuvered, and never uncertain. It is the ultimate authority, unchallenged and unshakable. Understanding divine sovereignty also means recognizing that the Creator's authority is exercised with wisdom and intentionality. It is not merely a display of power, it is the execution of a plan rooted in love, justice, and purpose. This sovereignty is why the universe is sustained, why life continues, and why even in chaos there is an underlying order that cannot be denied. To grasp this is to see the world differently. It is to recognize that there is a higher perspective, a greater plan, and a force at work that is beyond human comprehension. It calls us to humility, acknowledging that while we have influence, we do not hold ultimate control. It reminds us that all things, great and small, are subject to the authority of the divine. Human limitations are an undeniable reality of our existence. Despite our vast intellect, creativity, and ingenuity, we are finite beings with restricted capacity. Our understanding is shaped by what we can perceive, and yet even our perception is limited. We see through a narrow lens influenced by time, space, and experience, unable to grasp the full scope of reality. This limitation is most evident in our inability to predict or control the future. No matter how meticulously we plan, unforeseen circumstances can disrupt the best laid strategies. We possess knowledge, but our knowledge is partial. We exercise power, but our power is conditional. We make decisions, but even our wisest choices are susceptible to outcomes beyond our control. Our limitations extend to our resources. Time, energy, and abilities are all finite. We cannot be everywhere, know everything, or do all things. This reality is not a defect, it is the design of our existence. Humanity was never created to operate in isolation from a greater source of guidance and provision. Our finite nature serves as a reminder of our dependency and the need for a connection with the infinite. Moreover, these limitations often lead us to frustration and weariness as we strive to achieve what is beyond our reach. We seek to understand the mysteries of life, to control the uncontrollable, and to secure outcomes that are not ours to guarantee. Yet our limitations are not meant to discourage us, they are meant to direct us. They point to the reality that while we are significant, we are not ultimate. When we accept our limitations, we gain clarity. We begin to see that our role is not to master the universe, but to steward the part entrusted to us. It is in acknowledging our insufficiency that we open ourselves to the sufficiency of the one who is limitless. This recognition transforms our approach to life, shifting our focus from striving to trusting, from self-reliance to reliance on a source far greater than ourselves. The release of burdens is an act of profound trust, a deliberate surrender of the things that weigh us down to the one who is infinitely capable. Burdens come in many forms: worries about the future, unresolved pain from the past, or the pressure of expectations in the present. These burdens, though intangible, can feel heavier than any physical load. They sap our energy, cloud our judgment, and rob us of peace. Carrying these burdens is often a reflection of our desire for control. We hold on tightly because we believe that the outcome depends solely on us. But the truth is, we were not designed to carry the full weight of life's complexities on our own. Attempting to do so only leads to exhaustion, frustration, and ultimately despair. There is a limit to what the human mind and heart can bear, and that limit is reached much sooner than we often admit. Releasing our burdens requires a conscious decision. It is not a passive act, but an intentional choice to say, "This is too much for me, and I trust it to someone greater." This act of surrender is an acknowledgement that there are things we cannot change, control, or fully understand. It is not a sign of failure, it is a step of wisdom. It takes more strength to release a burden than to carry it indefinitely. When we release our burdens, we are not throwing them into a void, we are placing them in the hands of the one who is able to handle what we cannot. These are hands that have proven themselves faithful throughout time, hands that sustain the universe yet care intimately about the details of our lives. The burdens we release are not neglected or forgotten, they are entrusted to the care of a power that is always purposeful and compassionate. In this act of release, we find rest. Rest does not mean the absence of activity, but the presence of peace. It is the deep assurance that the things we cannot handle are being handled. It frees us to focus on what we are meant to do while trusting the rest to the one who is always in control. This freedom is not just a relief, it is a gift, allowing us to live with greater clarity, purpose, and joy. Alignment with purpose is one of the most transformative outcomes of trusting the divine. Every created being, every element of the universe operates within a design, a purpose uniquely embedded by the Creator. Purpose is the reason for existence, the original intent behind the creation of a thing. To align with this purpose is to step into the flow of the Creator's design, where true fulfillment and effectiveness are found. When we try to navigate life based solely on our own understanding, we often drift off course. Without alignment, we may find ourselves pursuing goals that seem worthwhile but ultimately leave us empty. Misalignment leads to frustration because it is impossible to thrive when operating outside of what we were designed to do. A fish cannot succeed on dry land no matter how much effort it exerts. Its purpose is tied to the water, where its design functions perfectly. Alignment with purpose begins with trust, trusting that the one who designed us knows what we are meant to accomplish. It means letting go of the need to dictate every step and instead allowing the Creator's plan to unfold. This is not a passive waiting, but an active engagement with the opportunities and directions provided. Purpose is not something we invent, it is something we discover by aligning our lives with the greater plan of the one who made us. When we align with purpose, we experience clarity. Decisions that once seemed complex become simpler because they are filtered through the lens of our design. Energy that was wasted on pursuits outside of our calling is redirected toward endeavors that bring growth and impact. Alignment brings a sense of peace because we are no longer striving to fit into places where we don't belong. Instead, we operate within the space that was created for us. Purpose is not only about personal fulfillment, it is about contribution. Every individual's purpose is interconnected with the greater purpose of creation. When we align, we become part of something far larger than ourselves, a movement, a mission, a design that touches lives, transforms communities, and influences generations. This alignment brings not only fulfillment to the individual, but harmony to the collective as each part functions as it was intended. It is in this harmony that the beauty and power of divine purpose are fully revealed. Alignment with purpose is one of the most transformative outcomes of trusting the divine. Every created being, every element of the universe operates within a design, a purpose uniquely embedded by the Creator. Purpose is the reason for existence, the original intent behind the creation of a thing. To align with this purpose is to step into the flow of the Creator's design, where true fulfillment and effectiveness are found. When we try to navigate life based solely on our own understanding, we often drift off course. Without alignment, we may find ourselves pursuing goals that seem worthwhile but ultimately leave us empty. Misalignment leads to frustration because it is impossible to thrive when operating outside of what we were designed to do. A fish cannot succeed on dry land no matter how much effort it exerts. Its purpose is tied to the water, where its design functions perfectly. Alignment with purpose begins with trust, trusting that the one who designed us knows what we are meant to accomplish. It means letting go of the need to dictate every step and instead allowing the Creator's plan to unfold. This is not a passive waiting, but an active engagement with the opportunities and directions provided. Purpose is not something we invent, it is something we discover by aligning our lives with the greater plan of the one who made us. When we align with purpose, we experience clarity. Decisions that once seemed complex become simpler because they are filtered through the lens of our design. Energy that was wasted on pursuits outside of our calling is redirected toward endeavors that bring growth and impact. Alignment brings a sense of peace because we are no longer striving to fit into places where we don't belong. Instead, we operate within the space that was created for us. Purpose is not only about personal fulfillment, it is about contribution. Every individual's purpose is interconnected with the greater purpose of creation. When we align, we become part of something far larger than ourselves, a movement, a mission, a design that touches lives, transforms communities, and influences generations. This alignment brings not only fulfillment to the individual but harmony to the collective, as each part functions as it was intended. It is in this harmony that the beauty and power of divine purpose are fully revealed. The illustration of the seed is a profound metaphor for the way the Creator's processes work in our lives. A seed, though small and seemingly insignificant, carries within it the potential for incredible growth and transformation. Yet, for the seed to fulfill its purpose, it must first be surrendered to the soil. It cannot grow while remaining in the safety of a hand or on display in a jar. Its potential is unlocked only when it is buried, entrusted to a process that is beyond its control. In the soil, the seed undergoes a transformation that is hidden from view. This is a process of surrender and patience. The seed does not strive to grow, it simply submits to the conditions around it. The soil provides the nutrients, the rain brings the water, and the sun offers the energy. These elements work together in perfect harmony, guided by the design of the Creator to bring the seed to life. The seed trusts the process without resistance, and in due time it breaks through the surface, reaching toward the light. This process mirrors our own journey when we place our lives in the hands of the divine. Like the seed, we carry immense potential, dreams, gifts, and a purpose uniquely embedded within us. But this potential cannot be realized through our own striving or control. It is only when we surrender ourselves to the Creator's process, trusting that what happens beneath the surface is working for our good, that we begin to grow. The seed's transformation also teaches us about seasons. Growth does not happen all at once, it unfolds over time. There are moments when it seems like nothing is happening, when the soil feels dark and lonely. But these moments are critical. The roots are forming, the foundation is being established, and the seed is preparing for what lies ahead. The unseen work is often the most important work, setting the stage for visible growth. Furthermore, the seed's journey shows us the importance of trust. The seed cannot dictate the rain, control the sun, or manipulate the soil. It simply rests in the assurance that the process is designed to work. This trust allows it to grow into something far greater than itself, a plant that provides shade, beauty, or nourishment for others. The potential within the seed is not for the seed alone, it is for the benefit of the world around it. In the same way, when we trust the Creator's process, our lives produce fruit that blesses others. We become part of a larger story, fulfilling a purpose that extends beyond our own existence. Like the seed, we realize that surrender is not the end, it is the beginning of a journey toward growth, impact, and fulfillment. Surrender is often misunderstood in the context of life and faith. To many, surrender is seen as a sign of weakness, a concession of defeat, or an admission of failure. But true surrender, especially to the hands of the divine, is none of these things. In fact, surrender is an act of profound wisdom and incredible strength. It is the acknowledgement that while we have the capacity to influence, we do not have the power to control. And this recognition liberates us to operate within our intended design. Surrender is not the abandonment of responsibility, it is the alignment of our will with a greater plan. It does not mean ceasing all effort or resigning to passivity. Rather, it is the intentional act of trusting the Creator to handle what is beyond our ability while we faithfully steward what is within our capacity. It is releasing the need to have all the answers while remaining committed to doing our part with excellence. This kind of surrender is empowering because it frees us from the illusion of control. Control is exhausting. It demands that we carry weights we were never designed to bear, navigate paths we cannot see, and solve problems that are far beyond our comprehension. But surrender shifts the focus. It moves us from striving to trusting, from anxiety to peace, and from limitation to abundance. It allows us to rest in the knowledge that we are not alone, and that the one who created us is actively working for our good. Surrender also requires humility. It challenges the ego, which insists on independence and self-reliance. Humility allows us to admit that we need help, that we do not have all the answers, and that there is a wisdom far greater than our own. This humility does not diminish us, it elevates us. It positions us to receive the guidance, strength, and provision that only the Creator can give. Moreover, surrender invites clarity. When we let go of the need to control every outcome, we gain a clearer view of our role and responsibilities. We are no longer distracted by the things we cannot change, and our energy is focused on what we are uniquely designed to do. This clarity brings purpose and direction, enabling us to walk with confidence, even in uncertain circumstances. Ultimately, surrender is not about giving up, it is about giving over. It is placing our lives in the hands of the one who knows us better than we know ourselves and trusting that those hands are strong enough, wise enough, and loving enough to lead us where we need to go. In surrender, we find not weakness but strength, not loss but freedom, and not chaos but order. The hands of the divine are not idle or passive, they are hands of action, precision, and purpose. These are not hands that simply hold or observe from afar. They are hands that shape, guide, mold, and sustain. When we place our lives in these hands, we are entrusting ourselves to a power that is not only all-knowing but also deeply involved in the details of our existence. These hands are active in the fulfillment of a greater plan, a plan that is always working for our ultimate good. The Creator's hands are capable of doing what we cannot do. They are hands that formed the universe out of nothing, set the stars in their places, and designed the intricacies of life with unfathomable wisdom. These hands are not just capable of great acts of power, they are also tender and precise in their care for us. They know where we need to grow, where we need protection, and where we need guidance. They are hands of provision, providing exactly what we need at the moment we need it. These hands, though capable of great power, are never careless. There is a deliberate intention in every act of creation. Each movement, each gesture, each action is purposeful. Nothing is random, nothing is without meaning, and nothing is beyond the scope of the Creator's influence. When we trust our lives into these hands, we trust in their wisdom and intention. We trust that every step we take is ordered, every season we enter is designed, and every challenge we face is part of a greater process. Furthermore, the hands of the divine are hands of love. This love is not passive or distant, it is an active, sustaining force. It is a love that nurtures, corrects, protects, and provides. Just as a skilled artisan works with care to craft a masterpiece, so too does the Creator work with great care in shaping our lives. There are times when these hands must prune and refine us, removing things that hinder our growth. There are times when these hands must strengthen and build us, equipping us for what lies ahead. But in every season, these hands are working with a purpose, always for our best. In surrendering to these hands, we are not yielding to mere force or arbitrary control. We are placing ourselves in the care of hands that hold us in love, wisdom, and power. These hands are actively shaping our destiny, guiding us through every circumstance, and preparing us for what we were always meant to become. To trust these hands is to trust that no matter what happens, we are always in good hands. Hands that will never fail, never abandon, and never make a mistake. The balance between effort and trust is one of the most powerful dynamics in life. Many people operate under the illusion that success is purely the result of their own effort and hard work. While effort is certainly a necessary component of achieving our goals, it is not the sole factor that determines the outcome. There comes a point where, despite our best efforts, we encounter situations and challenges beyond our capacity to control. It is in those moments that the power of trust becomes evident. Trust is not a passive act, nor is it a relinquishment of responsibility. It is the recognition that there is a greater force at work, guiding and directing us beyond what we can see. Effort is essential. It is the human response to the opportunities and challenges presented to us. We are meant to exert ourselves, to work diligently, and to put our best into everything we do. This effort is a reflection of our God-given capacity and potential. We were not created to be idle or complacent, but to engage with the world around us, to develop our talents, and to be active participants in the unfolding of our purpose. Through our effort, we demonstrate faithfulness, discipline, and determination. However, effort alone is insufficient. There are limitations to what we can achieve through our own strength, wisdom, and resources. As much as we strive, there are forces outside our control, challenges too great for our understanding, and circumstances that defy our best planning. It is at this point that trust becomes essential. Trust is the acknowledgement that our effort is not the only determining factor in the outcome. It is the recognition that despite our limitations, there is a higher power that works alongside us, directing our paths, providing what we need, and opening doors that we could never open on our own. Trust is not about abandoning effort, but about knowing when to release the need for control. It is about aligning our actions with a greater plan, knowing that while we do our part, the Creator is doing what we cannot. Trust is the assurance that, even when we face setbacks or roadblocks, we are not alone in the process. The Creator's hands are active, guiding us, protecting us, and providing opportunities that go beyond what our limited vision can comprehend. The relationship between effort and trust creates a synergy. Our effort opens the door for the Creator's provision and guidance, and trust ensures that we are not carrying the burden alone. Effort without trust leads to burnout and frustration, while trust without effort leads to passivity and stagnation. It is when we operate in the balance of both, giving our best while trusting in the greater wisdom and power of the divine, that we find true fulfillment, peace, and success. This is the partnership that enables us to navigate life's challenges with confidence, knowing that we are supported by a power far greater than ourselves. In the moments of uncertainty, when the road ahead seems unclear and the outcome uncertain, the ability to rest in trust becomes paramount. Uncertainty is a natural part of life, yet it often causes anxiety, fear, and doubt. We find ourselves searching for answers, craving certainty, and seeking control in situations where control is beyond our reach. But it is in these very moments that we are invited to trust that even though we cannot see the full picture, there is a greater plan at work, and we are not alone in the journey. When we face uncertainty, it often brings us face to face with our limitations. We recognize that no matter how much we plan or prepare, there are factors beyond our control. This recognition can be unsettling, but it also serves as a reminder that we were never designed to navigate life alone. We were created to rely on something greater than ourselves, to rest in the assurance that the Creator holds the blueprint of our lives and is working in ways that we cannot yet understand. Trust in times of uncertainty does not mean ignoring the challenges or avoiding the necessary decisions. It means choosing to believe that even when we do not have all the answers, we are not abandoned. Trust means recognizing that there is purpose in the process, and that every season, whether it is one of waiting, preparation, or struggle, is an integral part of our growth and development. Uncertainty is not a sign that we are lost, it is often the precursor to breakthrough, the moment when the Creator is preparing us for something greater. The peace that comes with trust in uncertainty is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of assurance that we are being led through them. When we trust, we allow ourselves to be guided by a force that sees what we cannot, that understands what we do not, and that is working on our behalf even when we cannot see the outcome. This trust frees us from the fear of the unknown and allows us to move forward with courage, knowing that even in the midst of uncertainty, we are being directed with purpose and precision. Trust in uncertainty also teaches us to embrace the process. It encourages us to stop striving for immediate results or trying to force outcomes that are not yet meant to be. It teaches us to allow things to unfold in their proper time, to trust the timing of the Creator, who sees the beginning from the end. In these moments of waiting and ambiguity, we are being shaped, refined, and prepared for what is ahead. The journey of trust is not just about yielding to divine authority. It is not also about embracing, but in the trust that the Creator's plan is unfolding perfectly. When we place our lives in the hands of the Creator, on the knowledge that the one who has guided us in the past will continue to guide us in the dreams or our future, we are allowing ourselves to be shaped. The peace that comes from trusting in the unknown is a peace that surpasses human understanding, rooted in the confidence that we are never truly lost. This transformation is the result of engaging with a higher wisdom, a divine blueprint that works to bring us into alignment with our true potential. Transformation is not a superficial change. It is a deep inner shift that affects our character, our mindset, and our behavior. Just as gold is refined through fire, so too are we refined through the process of trust. The challenges we face, the moments of difficulty and the seasons of waiting are not meaningless. They are the crucibles in which we are molded and made. Through trust, we invite the Creator to work within us, not only to change our circumstances, but to change us, our thoughts, our responses, and our understanding of what truly matters. When we trust the process, we begin to see that every experience, whether good or bad, is part of our shaping. Each experience teaches us something about ourselves, about the Creator's plan, and about the nature of life itself. Trust does not shield us from difficulties. It equips us to face them with strength, wisdom, and grace. It teaches us to respond not from a place of fear or frustration, but from a place of assurance that we are being transformed into the people we were always meant to be. Transformation through trust also means that we are becoming more like the Creator. As we place our lives in His hands, we open ourselves to the qualities of character and strength that reflect His nature. Patience, perseverance, compassion, and wisdom are cultivated in the soil of trust. These qualities are not developed in times of ease, but in times of challenge where we learn to lean on divine wisdom rather than our own understanding. Through trust, we also discover our capacity for greater things. As we surrender control, we begin to step into realms of potential that we never thought possible. Our limitations fall away, not because we become more capable on our own, but because we are connected to the source of all capability. When we trust in the Creator's purpose and plan, we tap into a power greater than our own. This power enables us to accomplish things that go beyond our natural abilities and reach heights we could not have imagined. This process of transformation is not instantaneous. It is a continuous journey of growth and development. Trusting the Creator's hands is a lifelong process of being shaped and refined, becoming more attuned to His will and purpose. It is a journey that requires patience, surrender, and a willingness to be changed from the inside out. Through this transformation, we not only fulfill our potential, but also become a reflection of the Creator's glory, demonstrating the power of trust in every area of our lives. As we walk this journey of life, we must understand that it is not simply about achieving success or reaching our goals by our own strength. True success, the success that transcends the fleeting and the temporary, is found when we place everything, our plans, our desires, our burdens, and our very lives into the hands of the Creator. The process of surrender is not one of weakness but of power, not one of loss but of gain. It is the process of aligning ourselves with a greater plan, one that is always working for our highest good. Trust is the foundation of this process. It is trust that empowers us to release our burdens, to align with our purpose, and to walk in the certainty that, though we may not understand every detail, we are being led with wisdom and love. Trust is the key that unlocks transformation, moving us from where we are to where we were always meant to be. It is in surrendering to divine guidance that we are shaped, refined, and empowered to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. When we trust the hands of the Creator, we acknowledge that these hands are not only capable of holding us, but also of shaping us into something greater than we could ever be on our own. The Creator's hands are hands of provision, protection, and love, actively working in every circumstance to bring about a greater good. As we release control and trust the process, we move from striving to flowing, from struggle to peace, from limitation to limitless possibilities. In moments of uncertainty, it is trust that anchors us. In times of transformation, it is trust that refines us. And in all things, it is trust that empowers us to become the individuals we were always meant to be. When we let go and allow the Creator to lead, we step into the fullness of life abundant, purposeful, and rich in all that is good. Therefore, let us embrace this journey with full confidence, knowing that as we place everything in the hands of the Creator, we are stepping into a plan that is beyond our comprehension, a purpose greater than our imagination, and a destiny that is waiting to be fulfilled in His perfect timing. Trust is not just a word, it is a way of life, a posture of surrender, and the key to a future filled with promise and possibility.